Welcome to season 2 of the Fit to Love podcast show. Welcome to Fit to Love, Movement Mondays, all about exercise, all about movement, all about you. Enjoy the show. Having a hard time losing weight and can't figure out why? Did you know there are 7 factors that contribute to weight loss resistance? Come on over to fittolove.tv/quiz and find out if one of those factors is sabotaging you. Today's show, proper form for a cross in boxing. So last week we covered the jab. The jab is the first, it's the 1 punch in boxing, and the cross is the 2, the 1-2 punch. The cross is the power punch. Last week in the jab, we learned how to use half of our body weight in the twist to generate the force for the jab. Now we're going to be using most of our body weight for the cross because that's the takedown punch. So just to review, the jab looks like this. Okay, and it is used to either move somebody into the corner so that you can do the power punch, which is the cross, or you're defending yourself with your jab. Okay, so it's a moving punch. Your cross will not be a moving punch. The cross is the takedown punch. It's the power. It's where most of your body weight can be used in momentum to generate your power. And again, just like in the jab, you're never doing this. If you're in a class and you're wondering why your shoulders really hurt, not muscularly, but you feel really achy after a kickboxing class, is because you're probably not doing these moves correctly and you're not actually using your musculature and the leverage that you have with momentum in your body weight to do the punch correctly. You're just trying to go to the beat. So be careful. Now, the other danger about a cross is your knee. So the most important part for a cross actually has to do with your foot. So just like the jab, whenever you get started, you're going to start on, if you can imagine a clock, you're about 11 and 5 with your feet. Now, because the jab is just a half of a twist, it's not a big deal, nothing needs to move too much. When you do the cross, you are actually taking your whole body across with your arm. And so what's happening is I'm actually rotating everything. And in order to not hurt your knee, the most important part of the cross is right here in my back foot. You want to make sure that your heel is off the ground and that you turn. All right? This little move right here is going to make or break whether or not you have a knee injury from a cross. Because if I keep let me grab my thumbs. If I keep So here's my knee joint, right? Imagine my foot's attached to this. If I take and twist my entire body with force, without moving the lower leg, boop, what happens? Tear my ACL, all right? We don't want to tear your ACL or everything else that's in here. There's more ligaments than just your ACL that could get torn in this twist. So we want to make sure that we take the whole lower leg with us as we twist. So you cannot be planted on the floor. You have to have your heel up, be on the ball of your foot, and twist. So when you're starting to learn a cross, that's the first thing I recommend you practice. Hands here, practice the twist with, you can pretend you're like squishing a bug or flicking your heel. I don't really care what you think about as long as you do this. So that way when you twist, your spine, your hip, and your knee all go in the same direction, okay? So do not plant that foot. That's where the injury happens. So for a cross, hands are here, and we're crossing the body. We're going to start with the foot, and then we're going to use our arm, same thing as the jab. So if you missed the jab, go back last week and watch the jab. You're going to always punch with the flat part of the fingers. I'm going to recommend that you use wraps and gloves if you're hitting something, but if you're just shadow boxing, you're fine to do it the way we're doing it now. Arms are here, chin is tucked. You've just thrown a jab, and now you're coming in for the cross, which is, again, from all of your body weight, crossing and punching forward. My heel is turned, my knee and my hip and my shoulder are all behind this arm, and you're not going to bend your wrist. You're going to make sure, again, you're going to make a fist and grip so that all your forearm muscles maintain your wrist from bending. If you do this, that's another big injury in boxing. People want to hit like this. That's why people make fun of girls, because here, hitting like a girl. this now becomes one unit, but in order to do that, you either need the reminder of the wrap to keep your muscles tight, or just practice it. And that's why in boxing and kickboxing, it's a skill. So you want to practice proper form, and then you can add some speed to it. But you don't add speed when you have no idea what you're doing. So the cross is the takedown punch, it's the power punch, it's the hard punch, and you don't have to have big muscles in order to produce a lot of force, because the force is in the leverage of your body. So I'm here, I've just thrown a jab, and I'm coming out of the jab to throw the cross. So cross is my hip and my shoulder are leading, along with my ankle and my heel coming off the ground. Punch and come back. And again, I want you to visualize that you're hitting something, that you're hitting through something. You're not just throwing your arm, you're actually striking something. There's a little bit of a reach, but you don't want to do this. So from the side, it looks like this. And as long as I have control over my muscles, I'm not going to get injured. Because I know my force is being generated from my torso, my hips, the flick of my heel, and all my joints are aligned. So boom, I am focused with all my force on that target. So again, last week we went over the jab. Now this is the cross. And to put them together, it looks like this. If I was actually in a boxing situation, which actually can be really fun and it's great cardio. If I'm, let's say I'm really boxing and I'm pushing somebody into a corner where I want them, boom, 1-2. So in boxing it's called a 1-2. 1-2. Jab, cross. Jab, cross. Jab, cross. So if you're going to use this for shadow boxing, for some cardio at home, which I think is a great idea, do your form properly and then put them together. So the jab comes first, jab. Remember, you're going to pick a point to focus on because you're going to immediately throw your cross right after. It's not 1-2. It's 1, aim, 1-2. 1-2. From the side, 1-2. 1-2. Any questions? Make sure to put some comments below this post on fittolove.tv.